Hi, my name is Mehtab. I'm celebrating my 50 years of practicing and doing yoga. I first began my journey with yoga and self-discovery and spirituality in my early 20s. I discovered Kundalini Yoga in an ashram in Houston, Texas. I went there day after day for several months and knew I had fallen a new love in my life. And I wanted to go deeper. So I went to California, lived in an ashram for several months, learned all I could about yoga, so even started teaching it in the public high school there. And after a while, this is the 70s, and life was changing quite a bit. So I came back to one of my places in Houston, Texas, and started to rediscover yoga in its all different forms. Started practicing Ashtanga yoga, Hatha yoga, and eventually I kept remembering something that really kept calling to me, and that was the Gong. I first experienced the Gong in the ashram in California, when we used to use the Gong for healing people in drug recovery. We'd use it to help them reduce their addictive impulses. And so I started getting back into the sound of the Gong at that time too, and using the Gong even with yoga as well, which is very powerful. I discovered meditation, relaxation. Same time I was doing all of this, I was also on the journey of self-discovery through astrology, and particularly Vedic astrology. I had studied Western astrology for 10, 20, 15 years, practicing it, and was happy somewhat. And then I thought, why not try this new astrology I've heard about? It wasn't new, it's actually really old, the Indian astrology, Vedic astrology, and see how it worked for me. And I found out this type of astrology was amazingly accurate. It was perfect for people on a spiritual journey. It was really good guidance about the karmas in one's life and why the soul came to be, what it's come to be. And so I started having all these different passions in my life come together with yoga, astrology, sound healing, and the Gong. And I've written several books about these topics because I feel they're such a powerful way to change your life and to change your consciousness as well. And along the way, this is back in the late 1990s. It was still unusual to have yoga centers around. We began a yoga center. My wife and I started a center called Yoga Yoga in Austin, Texas. And we kept training teachers. We kept training a teacher training course, and they would come out of the course and they wanted to teach. And we do another teacher training course and they want to teach someplace. And so we said, well, maybe we need another yoga center so they could have a place to teach. And so we did. We opened a second yoga center in Austin, Texas. Same thing happened. People kept coming. People kept doing teacher training courses. People kept wanting to share this. And this was a time when yoga was just becoming a national deal. Before then it was very sequestered, very closeted, so to speak. I think we had like 2 yoga centers in town. Not that many people even were aware what yoga was. But then the ball started rolling, and we had the second yoga center. Then we had the third yoga center. And then we had a fourth yoga center. And then we finally added a fifth yoga center. So for a time in the late 90s and early 21st century, we had 5 yoga centers, over 100 teachers, 350, 400 classes a week. Amazing journey of building a community around yoga. And at the same time too, I was also discovering the appetite and passion people had for sound healing. This is also very, very new back then. In fact, playing the Gong was something that was just unheard of really 25 years ago. Started doing that and discovered that I really liked teaching people how to play the Gong. It's very easy to learn to play. It was very quickly rewarding for people. And not only that, it really put people in an automatic state of meditation and deep relaxation. So, no one knew very much about the Gong. Surely, it was very much unknown. No one really knew how to train people to play the Gong. It was just something we picked up and tried to do like I did for myself. I taught myself how to play over a number of years. Eventually, the Gong started teaching me how to play it. But I wanted to spread it more. Like yoga, it's like you find something you find to be so powerful in your life, you want to share it. So for me, it was with yoga, and then I thought, it's the Gong. And so I wrote several books about the Gong, Gong yoga, how to teach Gong yoga, Gong therapy. And my wife and I started doing this a lot with different courses with the Gong, and eventually started doing Gong yoga, nidra training, planetary Gong training, which then brought together for me another passion in my life, astrology, the Gong, and also yoga, like the moon here, for example. This is the moon mudra, yoga mudra. And I realized that, boy, all 3 of these things are really connected. Yoga, sound healing, and astrology. And interestingly enough, people who like one tend to like the other too as well. So we started gathering groups of people who wanted to explore these subjects in depth. And again, I felt really drawn toward training, toward taking people to that level where they could share it with other people. You know, it's wonderful to give people an experience, but it's even more exciting sometimes to give other people the ability to give people the experience. So training teachers was a big part of our lives. Training people how to use the Gong therapeutically became a big part of our lives. And also just teaching people how to understand and use their own astrology and their astrology chart to get insights into their life and their karmas and their dharma and why they're here and what they're supposed to be doing with this life they have. So all three of these things kind of came together in a very beautiful way to emerge in this holistic system that held it all together. You saw all the connectivity, and it was really quite rewarding. So over time, you know, my wife and I love to travel, and we said, let's just take this out, let's take this on the road. And so over time, we have now traveled to over 20 countries, teaching people how to use the Gong therapeutically, how to play it for classes and healing, and also just training people in the practice of yoga, because yoga really permeates all these practices. I think in some ways yoga is the foundation for any journey you wish to go on, at least in my experience, because it gives you the experience of yourself, the ability to hold your energy appropriately, the ability to hold space appropriately, as you're doing healing work and other works that you're really interested in doing, therapeutic work and counseling and therapy and things like that. So we've done many trainings, and what's really been rewarding for me is to realize that wherever you go in the world, the people who are so aligned with this energy that you're trying to share, it's global, and you connect and you build community in a way you could never experience before. So for me, this whole journey with the Gong and with yoga and with astrology has really led me to understand that we have so much more in common. We are so much more alike than we are different. And these practices can allow people to understand that and to believe that and to believe in themselves, and also to have self-empowerment to heal themselves and work with other people. So it's been a great journey for me. It's been 50 years into the practice here, and I told someone the other day, I'll be doing this when I'm 108, so hang around. I hope to see you then as well. But give yourself this gift of these amazing techniques that have been passed down through the ages, the Vedic sciences, Ayurveda, for example. Ayurveda also permeates a lot of the teachings here with the mudras we use, how we play the Gong, how we work with different energies in healing, this ancient science of yoga for transformation, the science of astrology to understand what's the journey of the soul and why you're here to do what you are doing, and Ayurveda to keep you healthy while you're doing it. And then, of course, the power of sound healing. This is, I keep telling people, this is the new thing. It's not new anymore because so many people have exposed to it. But just imagine how this will be in 5, 10, 20 years, where this will be a recognized modality for taking people to a deeper experience of self and well-being. And we're all here enjoying this cutting edge of this new consciousness that's coming, just like it's been emerging over the past 30, 40, in my case, probably 50 years. So this is who I am. This is the journey I've been on. I've been very fortunate to have my wife join me in this journey. And I'm going to invite her to come and be with me for a while, because without her, this journey would never have happened. And we found that we really enjoy teaching together. You know, this idea of really sharing what you love and with who you love as well. Such a powerful experience.
The greatest blessing of my life has been my relationship with my husband, but also the ability to work together in our spiritual path, to have a partner in our sadhana is a gift like no other.
Yeah.
And I feel very blessed to have all these tools of yoga, all the Vedic sciences, you know, helping us to along this path of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been in fact, I think we're getting near our 50th anniversary, aren't we? Like that.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty soon.
And I would truly say, I think the reason we're so passionate about, because we know in our hearts that these practices have actually saved our lives. They've certainly saved our relationship.
Absolutely.
They've given us a way to remain healthy and happy no matter what the circumstances. So why shouldn't we be sharing this? And why shouldn't you be sharing this too as well, and the journey this can take us on? So anyway.
These are techniques that will make your life a whole lot better, and help you to fulfill your destiny. So I really invite you, we invite you to join us.
Good, yeah. And we're going to invite you, and we're going to seal it with a kiss.
Aww.
Right. Thank you, guys.